Yes. I did. I originally had purchased a home. It was my first home. I'm very sentimental. And then I ended up having to relocate. And so I was like, do I want to get a tenant? Do I want to go through the throes of property management? I know there's a lot of unsavory bits about it, but I was like, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to give it a shot. And I really wanted to stand apart from a lot of the things I heard about negative landlords and people having an awful experience with, landlords just painting everything white and never, addressing issues and never being considerate of the fact that people are renting a home and taking care of it the way that they should be. So I wanted to be a different experience for my tenants. And it really made the world of difference. Those initial tenants rented from me for 2.5 leases, and they ended up needing a bigger space. And I ended up being their agent, and we bought them a home. And with the profits that they gave me from their rental, I was able to give them a credit towards the home.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pro Show. I'm your host, Erica, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Rebecca Saitzer. And she's been carving out her space in the residential real estate investing world. Rebecca, it's so awesome to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Erica. I'm very excited to get started.
Yeah, and I'm excited for our listeners to hear about how you've been navigating this space. So let's jump on in. For those who aren't familiar with your journey, Rebecca, can you give us the rundown? How did you get started in the real estate world?
I've been in real estate a lot of my whole life. My mom has been in property management, and watching her juggling that growing up kind of gave me a little bit of perspective on if I was even interested in getting into real estate. And there was definitely a lot of pros and cons that I saw, but once I got a little bit older, real estate came knocking back again, and I'm now a licensed agent, a property manager myself, and I'm also an investor. So it definitely is my path for myself.
I love that. Was there a particular moment or deal that made you say that this is it? Because you said that it came knocking.
Yes. I did. I originally had purchased a home. It was my first home. I'm very sentimental. And then I ended up having to relocate. And so I was like, do I want to get a tenant? Do I want to go through the throes of property management? I know there's a lot of unsavory bits about it, but I was like, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to give it a shot. And I really wanted to stand apart from a lot of the things I heard about negative landlords and people having an awful experience with, landlords just painting everything white and never, addressing issues and never being considerate of the fact that people are renting a home and taking care of it the way that they should be. So I wanted to be a different experience for my tenants. And it really made the world of difference. Those initial tenants rented from me for 2.5 leases, and they ended up needing a bigger space. And I ended up being their agent, and we bought them a home. And with the profits that they gave me from their rental, I was able to give them a credit towards the home.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And so it was like such a fun full circle experience, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing it more.
Yeah, that's really cool and unique when and when it comes to these properties, whether you're working with tenants or, it's the agent side of things, what kind of properties are we talking about and in what areas of the market?
So mostly I'm focused on single family homes currently, but I'm really looking forward to getting into that multifamily space. So that's what I'm currently working on and working with partners and other investors, trying to, analyze a few deals to see if that's going to be my next venture. And right now I focus on Central Florida. So from one coast to the next, from Tampa Bay all the way to Daytona Beach, that big strip of Central Florida has such a good variety of real estate, from waterfront options to land farms to, beautiful little residential homes. And there's a lot of development happening. There's really no stone going unturned in Central Florida. So people can buy brand new construction, can build their own home, make their own dreams, or even buy something that's, already existing and adjusted, renovate it to what they really want for themselves.
That's really exciting to be in such a place where there's that kind of variety. At the same time, are you noticing any challenges with what's going on in that market?
Yes, lots of challenges. I would say as an investor, I'm seeing a lot of neglect. So I'm seeing a lot of people who maybe purchased their home quite a while ago, have either aged in place and they don't have the energy, time, or bandwidth to renovate the home so it's market ready, or people who maybe jumped into the market a little bit pre or post COVID, depending on what the interest rates were at the time. And maybe they're just a little overwhelmed with where they are financially. So they're trying to unload the property, still get some sort of equity out of it. So I'm seeing a lot of, mixed bag when it comes to the type of sellers that are on the market currently.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to you you know, with your investments, what are you looking at? Is it a setback when a property needs a lot of work or, do you see an opportunity in there?
It's not a setback. Realistically, every property will sell to the right buyer. So, me, I'm not a huge flipper. I know some people with a lot of capital who love a messy, rundown project, who are ready to practically build a property from the ground up. They don't mind demo the whole building if you can. They're into that. I am not a developer. So I'm interested in really bringing that property back to life, bringing it to 2025 standards, making sure it's clean, habitable, and it's a comfortable space for tenants. Or even if I'm going to resell the property, making sure that the property is ready for someone and turnkey.
Yeah, absolutely. And earlier you were talking to me about what it's like being a property manager and how rewarding that's been. Can you take us through that journey a little bit more?
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
I love being a property manager. And I think it's because I really, truly, from the beginning, I do a lot of my due diligence in terms of screening. And so I want to make sure that not only is my property a good fit for the tenant, but the tenant's a good fit for that property. So if it requires a lot of landscaping, I'm like, hey, this place has a huge yard. Are you interested in landscaping? Do you want to pay for additional landscaping? Or, hey, I see that you have a, a fun full family. Are you going to need a place that's near a park or somewhere where you can, get some of that energy out? Are you looking for a specific school zone? I try to make sure that whatever they're looking for is something that can last for them long term. And then once they are ready to maybe even buy or want something larger, if they are a great tenant and they pay their rent on time for their full lease, for Christmas, I give them a full month off of their rent because I know Christmas time is like a huge time where people do a lot of spending. And I would love a full month of free rent or full month of free mortgage, really. But if they're taking care of the property, I feel like they've earned that. The house looks good, it's in great shape. I'm not seeing like any deterioration that I wouldn't see normally, like standard wear and tear. I'm very a big dog person. I have two dogs of my own, so all my properties are pet friendly. So I make sure that they're gated and that they have like plenty of access to dog parks or any. Partner with local veterinarians and things like that. So I really try to make it like a very different experience when it comes to renting with me.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And then tell us more about your work with other investors. Is that more with, projects that you're working on, or is that you operating as an agent?
Mostly, I'm operating as an agent. I haven't partnered as an investor with other investors as much as I'd like. So, most of the time, when it comes to working with other investors, usually I'll have some deals come across my desk, or I'll find some deals on my own where people are ready to transition out of the home, but maybe they don't want to do all the fixing up. Maybe they don't want to get it market ready, but they still need it sold because they need the capital or they need, some extra cash to kind of move on with their next journey. So I work with a lot of investors who do flips, buy and holds, a lot of investors who do some development. I'm working towards working with a few more commercial investors as well. So people who are in the retail space, buying laundromats, buying strip malls. There's a lot of towns that I'm seeing like start rebuilding, not necessarily from the ashes, but from a time where things were like very unaffordable. And they're kind of configuring the town with more accessibility, less food deserts, more options for services and resources for the community. So I love being part of that.
Yeah, yeah, and that also sounds like that's a great opportunity for the investors in the area too.
Absolutely. If they're interested in, helping the infrastructure of a town and they have the capital, they really can not only make quite a bit in terms of the government contracts that they can get and the kind of returns of their investment, but they can really turn a town around. Sometimes it takes one beacon of, oh, we're coming into the new age. All right, excellent. Let's start building a few things. Let's start building a few shops, a few resources so people have access.
Yeah. Really exciting. When it comes to, the deals that you have going on, whether it's the agent side or the investor side, have you found any tools or strategies that have been a game changer?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I've run across a few deal analyzers. I know that there's quite a bit on the market, right? So there's a lot of like Excel sheets and calculating tools. And I also use a rental analysis tool so I can help my investors know, hey, as a purchase, this is what you're looking at, but as a long-term rental investment, this is what you're looking at. So they can kind of make a decision on how they want their exit strategy to be. Also, there's different types of rentals, right? There's short term, mid-term, and long term. And depending on the market and the location, some perform a little bit better than others. Of course, in places like Orlando, near all the attractions. Short-term rentals still are really great, even though the market is very saturated. And then like big healthcare areas like Lady Lake, the villages, they have lots of hospitals. And so travel nursing is a big thing. So midterm rentals are very lucrative there. But there's still a lot of options for long-term rentals. And so I think it's got a good variety of options. And I'm really trying to like help my investors pick and choose what's going to make the best sense for them.
Absolutely. And what you pick out or what another investor picks out, buying the right property, no matter what the market is so important. AI is, I'm sure every real estate pro has a moment where things got deal or real. Maybe a deal that went sideways or a situation that forced a quick pivot. Can you share one of those moments with your years in the game?
Yes. One of my favorite stories is when I was working with an investor. He was brand new. And the beauty of being brand new is that you're kind of a sponge, right? You learn so many different things on your first deal, the pros and cons. And so I was kind of guiding him. I was like, okay, it was a multifamily. And I was like, this needs quite a bit of work. So even though, yes, you have the capital to secure a hard money loan, which is at a higher interest rate, and you can afford to purchase this, you also have to give yourself some understanding on how much is it going to cost to make it rent ready. You can't rent it as is. It's not viable at this point, but you have to make sure you're aligning your budget with your vision. So I got him connected with a few contractors to kind of talk about, what his expectations are. And at first he's just like, scrap everything. I want everything like marble and all of the highest, finishes and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I love that for you. But realistically, in this area, you don't want to over improve because it's not going to give you that same return. If you, put marble on everything, floor to ceiling, you're not going to get that same return as if you put luxury plank vinyl throughout the whole place. That's very popular, very sturdy. You're not going to need to have a lot of turnover when it comes to replacing it or adjusting it or cleaning it. But that's the beauty, right? Your vision, whatever you have for it, make it a reality if you can afford to do so. So the one of the units, he was like, okay, I'm going to do that. So he put all the bells and whistles into this signature unit. Looked gorgeous, right? Very beautiful. But in one of the next units, it needed a little bit more and he ended up running out of money. And I was like, how peculiar. So going through that process with him, raising more money for it, trying to get with other investors to partner with the rest of the project. It was very, very challenging. And I think it was a good lesson for me as an agent and for him as an investor as well to be like, okay, next time maybe do all the floors. Okay. And then maybe all the kitchens. And then that way everything is consistently the same. And then you can kind of see where you're going to run out of money the fastest. And you can kind of gauge where you want to be with the vision.
Yeah, absolutely. And from the agent side, was there anything that you've learned with, communicating with the investors that you work with?
I feel like as an agent, I am very transparent and I am very open with communication. So I'm going to give you updates consistently. Hey, this is what's going on. Hey, this is what I'm seeing. Hey, this is what I'm hearing. Hey, this is what's changing in the market. This is what I'm seeing. Some investors don't want that. They're just like, get me the deal so I can figure it out after the deal is closed. So, really having that initial conversation with someone saying, hey, what is your love language for investing? What do you prefer when it comes to communication? What are your expectations? Because sometimes they have other projects that they're working on. This isn't their only source of income, this isn't their only focus. And so I don't want to bombard them with details that aren't necessary. So that's one thing that as an agent, I have that conversation up front like, what do you like? I can give you a text 3 times a day about where we stand and we can be on a constant cadence of communication, or I can give you an update every Friday. What are you looking for? I hate the every Friday for myself because I am like, there's so much stuff that's happened. I have all these notes. But, depending on where they are, if they're a seasoned investor, usually they don't need as much communication. They're very familiar with the process. If they're just starting, they might need a little more handholding.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I love that customization that you're offering, which, just ups your service and value. Rebecca, when it comes to building relationships in the real estate world, can you share for our listeners what's been the biggest benefit for you? Maybe it was a networking group, a mastermind, a mentor. What has helped you grow in the real estate world?
I would say I did join Heather Blankenship's boot camp, investor boot camp. I love that. Very great space for networking with other investors. And it's like a woman focused group. So it was really great because in investing, you'll see it's become a very big boys club. It's always been that case. Not that there's anything inherently wrong with that. It's just the reality. But I find that the term a girl's girl really applies. So we really just rally around each other, support each other. Being a cheerleader and having a cheerleader of your own that understands your journey makes a world of difference. Like sometimes people, they don't have other people in their lives that are investors or even agents or even in real estate. So when they're like, "Hey, how's your day going?" Like, "Oh man, I had a closing today." And you're like talking about it and they're like, "I don't know what you're even referring to. You're not making any sense to me." And I'm just like, "Cool. Everything's fine." So it's nice to have people who understand some of like the highs and lows of real estate, even in a capacity if you're just talking to a title agent, they understand like some of the challenges as well. So it's nice to have a good variety around you and be a supporter of other people. I'm a big firm believer in that we can all eat, right? I'm not going to be fighting another agent for another deal. I'm not going to be a nasty girl. I'm not going to be like, meh, 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 meh. We all need to put food on our table. How can we get to that closing table? How can I get you to be just as successful? Because your success is a reflection of my success. If we close at this table, the other agent, you're doing great. That means we're doing great. The title company, you're doing great. We're doing great. My insurance guy, you just got a deal. We just got a deal, and just having that mindset that these relationships really mean that we are all doing well and just kind of pushing that narrative. Because I feel like sometimes people are like, oh, it's so competitive with other agents. I'm like, you're only competing against yourself. There are no other agents. Everybody is working just like you would in a 9 to 5. You're not competing with your coworkers. You're literally working in unison. We are working as a one machine of real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that, and I feel like what you, said just transitions great because, in this industry, I think it's so important to be supportive of each other, which is why I wanna ask, what do you have going on in the future? What are, your goals and ventures that you have going on?
I'm really interested in getting into the multifamily space on my own, and maybe partnering with other investors. And I haven't done much when it comes to like renovation, besides, like simple things, updating a few fixtures, of course, painting. But I really want to get into like, hey, how can we rebuild this wall? Like, I really want to get into some of like reconfiguring a space and making it more useful for a 2025 family or 2025 tenant or a buyer. Right now, the big thing is open living dining spaces, but I don't want it to feel like a studio. Like, how do I collaborate with the right people who can see my vision and make it come to life? And so that's what I'm focusing on lately is really just getting into the multifamily space, being a more dynamic property manager for my tenants, kind of easing them into home purchasing if that's what they want for themselves, and really just like trying to make a positive difference.
Yeah, I love that, and I love how much you're focused on service and making a difference. It's really wonderful, Rebecca.
I love it. I feel like we have to be a steward to each other. It's already hard enough out here in the world, right? So, realistically, if I can make your day a little bit easier and it literally costs me nothing, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
I can alleviate, hey, my lender, he's like a little bit hectic. He's got a lot of things going on. Okay, hey, I'm coming by your office. I brought you some lunch. Let's crunch some numbers. Let's clear the air a little bit. What difference does it make? You know what I mean? It's important to understand that we're all just human beings. I think sometimes we get wrapped up in like our roles and everything that's going on and all these moving parts. Like, I'm just a human girl. And
Yeah,
these
yeah,
tenants,
I
they're
I
going
feel
through
you.
things too, right? So I had a tenant who lost their job and they were really stressed out. And I'm like, you've been paying your rent on time since you've been leasing with me. Do you want something smaller? I was going to give you a free month of rent. Do you want to break that up into a smaller rent payment for the next 3 or 4 months? We can coordinate. Communication is the most important part. I think sometimes people get a little bit nervous and they're like, don't say anything, just run and hide. And I'm like, no, we have to be human to each other so we can communicate better.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Rebecca, before we wrap up, if someone listening wants to reach out, connect with you, partner up, or maybe they need help with one of their properties and need an agent, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
So the best way to contact me is via email, and it's ROI Saint Seren at gmail.com. I'm on that thing all the time. Or they can give me a call or send me a text. My phone number is 727-685-8506. So those are going to be the best ways to contact me. That way you can get me directly. Text was probably the easiest. If I'm like in a meeting or in a call, I can always text you right back and we can get connected and I'll be happy to help in any capacity that I can.
Love it. Rebecca, you are building your business and growing the right way. Your story was inspiring. Thanks so much for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you for having me. I'm so looking forward to seeing what kind of positive changes we can all make together. And so if you ever need me to jump on, let me know. I'll be happy to help.
Awesome. And for everyone tuning in, if you got value from this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pro Show. We've got more episodes lined up with pros like Rebecca who are out there building fantastic real estate empires. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.